Good afternoon, children. Welcome back to our moral science class. How are you, children? Hope you all are fine by God's grace. What did we learn in our last class? Last class, we learned about disappointment from the story Stage Fright. Yes? Okay? Yes. So, what do we learn from the story Stage Fright? What do we learn from the story Stage Fright? I think, children, you have learned that stage fright is normal and can be overcome with practice and experience. So, stage fright is normal and can be overcome with practice and experience. What did Leela learn from the incident? What did Leela learn from the incident? Leela learned that it was not something to be ashamed of, but something to learn from it. Okay, so Leela learned it was not something to be ashamed, but something to be learned from it. Okay. Today we are going to learn about overcoming such disappointments. Overcoming such disappointments. We all know how Leela must have felt when she left the stage in tears. She must have been angry with herself and sad. She may have worried about what her friends could think. She would have felt guilty about letting down her mother. In other words, she must have been totally miserable. So, what is the meaning of miserable? Miserable means sad. Of course, it is not easy to deal with disappointment, but we have to learn how to do it because disappointments are a part of life. Disappointments are a part of life. Here are some tips that may help. Time will heal the pain of disappointment. Tell yourself you are soon going to feel better. Seek comfort by talking about it with your parents or close friends. There are some ways you can deal with disappointment. First one, time will heal the pain of disappointment. Second one, you can say yourself that I am going to feel better. Next, you can talk to your parent or close friends about the disappointment and can seek comfort. Next, when you are calmer, you can ask yourself, why did it happen? Was it something I did or did not do? Was it beyond my control? What can I learn from this? Okay. Next, you can keep trying and don't lose confidence in yourself. So, children, you should not lose confidence. You have to keep trying till you get success. Success can be preceded by failure, not once but many times. Even great men have had to face failure and humiliation before becoming famous. Now, children, you can turn your book to page number 27. So, success can be preceded by failure not once but many times. Even great men have had to face failure and humiliation before becoming famous. Children, have you turned your book to page number 27? Yes, okay. Mohandas Gandhi came back to India from England in June 1891 with a degree in law. He soon got an opportunity to appear in court to argue a case. When it was his turn to cross examine the witness, Gandhi started, he gulped some water and tried to clear his throat. Everyone waited politely. He looked down at his shoes. Someone in the audience coughed. Gandhi looked up and opened his mouth, but he could not utter a word. He had forgotten every single question he had planned to ask. Even the judge laughed as Gandhi sat down. Here we can see about Mahatma Gandhi. The full form of Mahatma Gandhi is Mohandas Gandhi. Gandhiji finished his degree in law. He came back to India from England in June 1891. He got an opportunity in court to argue a case. Gandhiji's turn came to cross-examine the witness. When Gandhiji started to talk, he could not utter a word. He planned to ask some more questions. So he planned to ask more questions, but he had forgotten every single question. So he forgot every single question. Everyone waited politely. The audience laughed. So the judge also laughed, seeing Gandhiji. So Gandhiji went and sat down. Yet it was the same Gandhi who later defended many Indians in court cases in South Africa and commanded great respect for judges. When he returned to India again, he inspired and led a whole nation to freedom and came to be respected universally as the Mahatma. After this incident, Gandhi defended many Indians in court cases in South Africa and commanded great respect from judges. When Gandhi returned to India, he inspired and led a whole nation to freedom and the whole world show their respect. The people of India addressed him as Mahatma, which means great soul. He helped to free Indians from the method of action based upon the principles of courage, nonviolence, and truth. He called it Satyagraha. Now discuss how Gandhi could have felt when he became tongue-tied in court and even the judge laughed at him. So Gandhi could have felt very embarrassed at being laughed at in open court. If he had lost his self-esteem and confidence, could he have gone on to become a successful lawyer later? So if he had lost his self-esteem and confidence, could he have gone on to become a successful lawyer later? Yeah, if the answer is if this incident had made him lose his self-confidence, he could never have become the successful lawyer and leader he became. So Gandhiji have the self-confidence with him. So that's why he became a successful lawyer and leader for the nation also. Often in life we experience embarrassing moments. We may wish the earth could open up and swallow us. We encounter bitter disappointments and we ask ourselves, what if I had done this instead? Or what if I had said that instead? It is important to remember that disappointments will always be a part of life. But like Gandhi, we too can turn a disappointment into a learning experience. So many times we may experience embarrassing moments. Embarrassing moments means shameful moments. So many times we may experience shameful moments. Children like Gandhi, we too can turn a disappointment into a learning experience. Here I like to say few points regarding time management, which is given in your book. Don't let time run away from you. What happens when you let time run away from you? It becomes a struggle to find time for all the things we need to do, let alone the things we want to do. We begin to feel upset and nervous. Our work suffers and we may get into a bad mood. Soon everything piles up and so does the stress. So if we are not doing the work in a proper time, we have to feel in a bad mood. We have to suffer a lot and we will have the stress. So children, when we say I don't have time, it's not true. We all have time. It depends on what we choose to do with it. Time is the most evenly distributed treasure in the world. Everyone gets 24 hours every day. You can't put away time in a bank for emergencies. You can't buy it. You can't exchange it. It is so obvious that time is precious. Let us not waste it. How should you manage your time? Now we can see how should you manage your time. Now we can see few points regarding time management. Organize your work. Some tasks are some important than others, so you have to plan your work. Some tasks are more important than the others. Don't put off any important task that you can do now. So some tasks are very useful to you, important to you, so you can do it at once. Don't keep it for next day. Okay, learn how to do things more efficiently. They will then take less time. You have to learn to do things more efficiently, then you will take less time. Try not to spend too long at the same task. When the mind is tired, the work suffers. Move on to something else and then return to the task later. So try not to spend more time, okay, to finish his task. When your mind is tired, you can shift your work to somewhere else and do the task and do it in a good manner. Expand your interest. When you want to find the time for a new interest, you will get better at doing the other task faster. So you should have the interest in doing your things. So you can't waste the time. You will do better. Fill your days with a good mix of serious and fun activities. It is important to find time for the fun things too. Okay, so you have to fill your days with a good mix of serious and fun activities. If you are doing the things in a serious and fun activities, you can finish the work at a particular time. So it makes you joy and happy. With this, I like to conclude this lesson. Meet you in the next class. Thank you, children.